Hey Aquarius, this is Chronic Joy Tarot. This is going to be the May-ish 2018 reading. I'm sorry I had disappeared for a while. I had a very intense month in April with my day gig. But I'm back. Thank you for being here. Thank you. If you're returning, thank you for showing up for me again. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And just know that these readings are geared for your own soul's growth, less about other outside occurrences and the things that people do or say to you, and more about your path, where you are now, what you can sort of turn to and focus on at this time to continue your soul's growth. And for you Aquarians, the Oracle card, oh, actually I have a new Oracle deck. It's beautiful. It's the Crystal Wisdom Healing Oracle. Just love this deck. And the card I pulled for you is this crystal here called AJOITE. It's beautiful. If you could get it, look at that. So Aquarius, the general soul path message of this stone is keeping an open, compassionate heart. Okay, then in the little booklet that comes with these cards, there's a lot of different takes. You could talk about chakras, frequencies, the Astro Connect, to it, but the soul path section is the one that I'm attuned to, since that's kind of what our readings here are representing, and that's the open, compassionate heart. It's asking for you to shine your light, put down your burdens, let your light shine through, know that you are a being of light, resolve conflicts, forgive those who wounded you, and give someone a second chance. Honor your promises. So let's talk about keeping our hearts open, because this could be in response to a past hurt. The reason that this got pulled for some of you. And for some of you, it could just be a continuing practice of, your sense of compassion and open, loving heart, which is something that, at one time we're all focused on, right? And for you at this time, Aquarius, the guidance is asking you to focus on that heart space, okay? The spread that I'm using here with the Zen Tarot deck is called the Flying Bird. Point of Liftoff is the first card. This is kind of where you are now. And then we travel through internal and external influences to come to a new point of awareness, okay, as far as our open, compassionate hearts. Okay, your starting point is perfect. It's perfect for developing compassion. This is one of the moment to moment is one of the first practices when I'm feeling bound up and I'm feeling distracted or frustrated, things aren't going my way, and the minute you start that grasp, right, is when your heart literally, if you're really attuned to your physical sensations, you feel, maybe you stop breathing, you feel a hardening or a blockage, in your heart space, because you're focused on, that determination, or you're in a frustration situation where you just want to fight through it. And resting into every moment helps to reopen your heart chakra, helps to just allow life to come and enter, the goodness to enter your being. This figure is walking along the river, but he's got his eyes closed. He's not really concerned where that next stone is. He's not thinking he's going to fall in. And he doesn't, have any worry that the next stone won't just show up right under his feet, because he trusts it. He trusts this moment now, and then the next moment now, right? So this is your starting point, is more of a presence, more of a be here now practice. Okay, The first internal influence here in this reading is also a position. The card is positioned that is called this, the whole thing's called the flying bird. This one's called fear of flying. So this position is an internal influence that's within you, hidden, maybe not others are aware of it. And it has the potential to block your progress. So it's something to really tune into and flesh out from within. And that is this card, the dream. So just like I was saying, you might have in your mind or in your hopes that things turn out a certain way. Like this happens to be a romantic take on the card. The woman is looking at her dreams that are, happily ever after with the romantic figure of her dreams. But what this is saying, and this is an emotional card. So what I'm getting here is there may be an internal desire for things to be a certain way. And when they're not, and it's frustrating, just like we were saying in those moments where we're really frustrated. If we don't rest into this moment, we could continue on with frustration. If these ideals that you have within you are not showing up and they're not fleshing out in your life, you may feel like it's lost, or there's no possibility of reaching the happily ever after, quote unquote, which then in turn, causes you to sort of lose touch with that open, compassionate heart that you carry. The trick is to acknowledge that life just doesn't go in a linear way like that. It doesn't go from, point A to point B in a straight line. And, our dreams don't always come true in the way that we imagine them. But if we look around and kind of open up our awareness a little bit, we'll see other little miracles always occurring around us. And keeping that open heart, keeping that compassion alive will really help guide you toward all the goodness that's waiting there for you. In your external world, in response to this, maybe redirection from within to accept what is, accept this be here now sort of state of being, and move forward from there. In your external world, that twist from within, just that little bit of a shift, will create more balance in your life, that harmony, the alchemy, the head to the heart. If you see this beautiful light coming from the heart and dropping right into that point of intuition in this figure. And of course the dolphins, which I love, that represent the highest wisdom. There is a possibility for you to achieve a new sense of harmony, a new sense of balance that maybe doesn't align with those dreams you conjured up in your head, but that are still nevertheless waiting for you to step into. And, I just said this, I think, for Pisces, taking on the outlook that life doesn't happen to you. It happens for you, right? There is a supportive quality to everything that occurs in our lives. God, the universe, whatever it is that you connect to spiritually is always there. There's always, you can always rest in that knowing that you're supported. And, your angels, your guides, whatever it is that you, that resonates for you. Knowing that there is always that support from spirit is, sometimes that's just enough. It's enough, even if those ideals that we had played out in our mind aren't really coming to fruition in the exact way that we planned them. There's still so many blessings all around us in every moment that we can, sort of navigate toward. And in that is where you find that freedom, that blissfulness. The next internal influence is this card, compromise. So what triggered for me is that if you are in remember in the beginning here when we were talking about this oracle card, how there might be conflict with another and we may need to just forgive it. It doesn't mean, so I'm not trying to say this literally. This doesn't mean somebody harmed you and then you just say, oh, it's okay. It's okay that you harmed me. Let's, come on back into my life and you can harm me again, right? It's not like that. This is an intangible process where you may, this act of compromise might just come from you internally acknowledging that person is on their own path and their spiritual knowledge and their spiritual growth is on its own pace, and that perhaps in the time of conflict, they weren't aligned. Yours and theirs were not aligned. And so the compromise comes from just acknowledging, not saying that you were right, they were wrong or whatever, but just acknowledging this is how our worlds collided. This is how it happened. This is how our spirits lined up in that moment. And it's okay. And working on your own and your own path and your own pace and your own spiritual growth is the only thing that you can control, right? And allowing yourself to forgive, meaning allowing yourself to release those emotions that were created, allows you to continue to grow. If you're not willing to just release it and know that this happened for me, it happened for me to learn, then you can move on to that higher space. I'm getting a ringing in my ear, so I feel like I'm really close for some of you. Maybe, just a few of you, but I feel like I'm hitting it. Okay, and then the next external energy is to show up in this world going downstream. Don't try to swim upstream. Go with the flow. Take what comes. Take everything that life brings to you and respond to it accordingly. Respond to it with this moment-to-moment energy and the open, compassionate heart. Always stay open. It's a practice. It's not a state that you arrive at and stay in, because we also, it's a spiritual space. We're human and things bring us right back down to, the reality of the day a lot of times. But in general, being able to just take what comes and navigate, move around it, move over it, stay with it, whatever it is that is presenting itself to you. Obviously in this external, you've got these blue cards here are all emotion cards. They're water cards, and it's really showing that you're tending to your feelings with this open, compassionate heart. Tending to your own feelings is key to your progress forward. Okay, the next internal influence is change. There's change happening within you. You're aware of it. You may not be fully exposing it or sharing it with others, but there is a major, swift change occurring within you. You're reaching higher and higher, and your soul knows it. Your soul is ready for the game, ready to expand, ready to, continue to rise. And as long as you can keep, that open heart and keep your emotions flowing as they come and go, then that change is going to show up as something very positive in your life. Oh, yes, it is. Look at this outcome. The consciousness card. This is in the cloud section of the deck, or the mind cards. This is the highest state of being. This is the top of the line of the mind cards. That consciousness, that third eye, that opening up of your higher awareness. You're on your way to it, Aquarius, and it starts with opening up your heart with compassion. Self-compassion is the first thing, I would say, and then that from there, that spills out to others. And having compassion for others doesn't mean having, let's see, what am I trying to say? Having compassion to others is you can be very detached and have compassion. You don't have to be involved. You don't have to be in there guiding or, reassuring anyone. It's more of just your own state of being, and that, yes, my heart is open and I understand, the things that, that you're going through, or another being may be going through, is part of their journey, right? Just immerse yourself in the love of the divine. Just, if you can do this through being in nature, or with animals, those are a couple of really, really direct, easy ways to just being in touch with your compassion and being in touch with the divinity that's everywhere. Okay, this is a great path. It's all about your feelings. It's all about keeping your heart open, shifting to those higher levels of consciousness, and you're on your way. Okay, Aquarius, don't forget to visit me on Instagram if you want to check out some of my little shorter videos, very general. And until next time, I know last month I promised I would do April mid-month, and I really, I just could not. But maybe I can do it in May. Let's see. So until next time, I love you guys and have a great May. Okay.